to juvenile court because of her age, because she was never in trouble before, because of the coerciveness of dating a 20-year-old Army enlistee.
Okay. All right. I hear that. I hear all of those arguments. I think they're good arguments. Again, I struggle with this young woman because she seems very sophisticated to me. I want to actually, if I can right now, John Waldron, I want to bring in Whitney Bone and Joey Jackson, both attorneys, who might be able to help me sort of get off the ledge here. I have always seen trial experts come in and they state their case, and I'm always amazed that smart doctors can be so diverse in how they see the same case. But isn't it really just a battle of the experts? It comes down to a battle of the experts, and someone's going to win. So why do they get a second crack at the apple?
Well, they wouldn't get a second crack at the apple had they not made the argument in the first place, Ashleigh. So the issue had to be preserved at the trial level, or in this case, before she entered the plea, in order for this to even be able to be argued on appeal. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the appellate court's going to evaluate that the trial court had the opportunity to listen to these experts and to judge their credibility himself.
Yeah, the judge did that. Joey, the judge made a decision. Yeah. I like your argument about this kid more than I like your argument about this kid. Off to adult prison you go.
You know, Ashleigh, you're 100% right in terms of the battle of the experts, and we deal with that in courts of law all the time because experts come in and each one sounds more convincing than the next. But I think this issue transcends this young girl, and it transcends this jurisdiction, and it transcends this case. This is about how we treat juveniles and how really should we apply the law. When any viewer now, I would challenge you, how were you at 14? How did you think? What did you say? Who did you speak to? What were the conditions upon which you lived your life? And how did that change when you were 18, 21, 31, 41? And so I just think as a society, and again, not to excuse the horrific offense, but as a society, we have to really think long and hard. Should we really leave this to experts? Or should we just think and know that 14-year-olds are somehow different than you and me? And should we be sentencing them to life? Or should we be evaluating their cases in juvenile court? I think this is a case for juvenile court. I think any 14-year-old who does something, it needs to be adjudicated there and not elsewhere.
And this is why
That's my
said,
position. When
you hear the phrase, it's not my fault, in this particular case, I'm not so sure it's a good thing or a bad thing if I can't get you off the ledge on this one. Stay tuned, if you will. My thanks to Jamie Stover and John Waldron as well. This next story, a suspected drug dealer. I know you've heard this before, charged with murder. But this is a weird one because this person wasn't even allegedly near the people when they died.
Other individuals who also receive heroin.
Hold that thought, John, for a second.
Yes.
Real quickly, Joey Jackson, weigh in here. When that jury gets the case, are they going to give the benefit of the doubt to a drug dealer?
You know, I don't think jurors like drug dealers. I don't think people in general like drug dealers, but I think it could be a stretch to apply this law to a drug dealer in this scenario. Charge him with drug offenses, charge him with selling drugs, but for the actual death, there's so many intervening circumstances that could lead to the death, and that's what the jury's going to be focusing on.
Except people are mad. People are mad across the country, Whitney. They have had it with heroin overdoses, with babies in the back seat at the stoplight. Do you think a jury might just say, yeah, we're sick of it too?
A jury probably would say they're sick of it too. Prosecutors are sick of it. Lawmakers are clearly sick of it. But what's happening is that you often find on appeal that appellate courts don't uphold these convictions because they find that these laws are hard to prove in terms of proximate cause between the drug dealer dealing the drugs and the death. So while, yes, this is an amazingly traumatic and horrible incident, I have some concerns in terms of how an appellate court might view this in terms of whether or not this lady actually caused the death.
Well, I want to just thank Colleen Ronnie for being so brave and speaking publicly about this. This is the kind of voice everybody needs to hear. My thanks also to John Justice. I'm going to ask the two of you to stand by, if you will. Got a mystery in the Bermuda Triangle tonight. Like you haven't heard that? No. Imagine this nightmare scenario. Your computer screen freezes and up pops a message warning you that your computer is going to stay locked and your files encrypted unless you pay ransom. And that money can go into the thousands. Refuse and the cyber crooks may threaten to destroy your private data, your personal data, maybe even all your photos. Here are some steps to protect yourself. This one's really simple, but most people don't even bother. Always use a pop-up blocker because pop-ups can be entry points for ransom attacks. Download software only from sites that you know, that you trust, and that you have verified. Turn off Bluetooth and other wireless connections when you're not using them. And back up your files on external hard drives and encrypted secure places in the cloud. If you do fall victim, the FBI encourages you to contact your local bureau for help and also for guidance. Huge props and huge thanks to Whitney Bone and Joey Jackson. First time on the show?
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Nice
It was a lot
have
of
you.
fun.
Florida.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Up here in this heat.
It's
What's
hot
going
here.
on here?
It's as hot here as
This
it
is
is there.
crazy.
You thought you were going to escape the heat. Thanks for being here.
Great
Come on
show,
back.
Miss Ashleigh, as
Thank you.
usual.
Because of y'all. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Primetime Justice. Stay tuned, though, because Forensic Files is coming up next, and you don't want to miss that. We'll see you tomorrow.